Welcome to Ask Gwen, everyone. And if I sound just a little distracted, that's because I have a huge amount of tax paperwork in front of me. Happy, joy to me, trying to get that stuff done. But other than that, I'm perfectly fabulous. And today we're going to talk about my other favorite subject, not taxes, but food, believe it or not, because Andrea is a natural food chef. So we're going to talk about my other favorite subject, which is food. And thank God she's coming on to save me from mountains of tax paperwork. So without further ado, I'm going to let Andrea take it away.
Oh, well, hello, Wynn. I'm happy to be here, and I'm really excited to talk to you about food because it's also my favorite subject. I love food. I love eating it. I love sharing it. I love cooking it. I love finding it and all that good stuff. And there's no food that will help you with your taxes, Wynn. I apologize, but
that's okay. That's okay. There's no magic foods here that will help me with my taxes. No, but as long as we eat healthy and not the junk food before we go to the accountant, that would help us all. Eat healthy
that
food,
is correct.
not junk food. Yes. So that's beside the point. So, Andrea, how did you start all this? How did you start all being a natural food chef? Did you leave corporate America, or did you get sick, or what?
Well, being a natural food chef was not on my agenda for this lifetime, but I was actually working at MTV Networks, and I was into media and music, and I got sick. And sickness is what normally will bring someone to a healthier diet and lifestyle. You know, they need to be knocked to the floor and exhausted before they make changes, and that was me. So I was diagnosed with a thyroid condition, and I was told I needed to take radioactive iodine and then be on Synthroid or some other thyroid medication for the rest of my life. And at the time, I was only 28 years old, Wynn. So I declined. I said, no thanks. I said, I don't want radioactive anything. I don't want to destroy my thyroid. I need to change my diet. So I did. I changed my diet. I got off all the junk food and the fast food and the sugar and the stimulants and the 5 cups of coffee I was drinking every day. And I started to eat real food, like real wholesome food, like that came out of the earth, that was colorful, that was, you know, not in a pretty box and didn't have 27,000 different ingredients. And my health started changing. My goiter disappeared within 18 months. And my thyroid normalized, and that was 22 years ago, over 2 decades ago. And I have to tell you, I'm 50 years old, and I feel really good. You know, I don't worry about disease. I know that I could have another disease at any time, but I also know that I can change the quality of my blood, and that will change the quality of my organs and my systems, and help me to function better.
Well, you know, my family knows this story, but since we're talking about food, I might as well tell you this story. I was eating way too much sugar for my own liking, and my body started revolting on me. Now, granted, I have a bone and joint condition called cerebral palsy. Cerebral palsy causes a whole host of things, and it's not very pretty. But when you add sugar on top of cerebral palsy, it's just a mess. So the day I couldn't move was the day I changed my diet, and I thought, well, if I'm going to do a little experiment on myself, and if the diet change doesn't work of cutting out refined sugars, then I have to drag myself to the cerebral palsy specialist, which is 4 hours away from me, and figure out why all of a sudden, when I turned 30, my CP started kicking up on me and starting not to behave. Do you know, when I cut out sugar, after a week, my CP went back to its normal habit.
Ah, it's great. That's wonderful.
Yeah. So I am a success story, and I want to tell all my fans that a doctor did not prescribe cutting out sugar. I did that. I did that on my own. And I did that. I turned 30 in June, so I must have done that the 2 weeks into July, because on my 30th birthday, my body started revolting.
Yeah. You know, sugar is a big problem. It's pervasive.
Yeah.
It's saturated in our
Huge
food
problem.
supply. It's a huge problem. And it's legal, so it's everywhere, and people have access to it. But you're living proof, Wynn, that sugar, when you take it out, right, your body starts to come back online, body and mind.
Yeah. Yeah. And I wish I gave it up in my 20s, not my 30s, after my CP decided to do a little dance and not cooperate. I wish I gave it up in my teens, not my 30s, because I would have been a lot happier and a lot healthier.
All right, well, you gave it up when you were ready.
I gave it up when I was ready, and I apologize to people listening to this interview. They may hear a phone in the background. Lovely. A telemarketer. And so I want to ask you a question, Andrea, and that is, people who are listening to this interview and they're like, okay, I probably should give up the sugars, and I probably should eat healthier than I do, and I should probably get on this whole natural diet and natural food thing. What would you suggest for the newbie? What would you suggest for the newbie?
Well, for the newbies, you know, the thought of giving up something that they may be addicted to, like sugar, can be overwhelming. So what I suggest is just start to change the sugars that you eat. So if you're eating candy bars all day, switch it to fruit. Like go to apples, oranges, blueberries, grapes. You know, just switch the sugar so that you're getting a better quality sugar. I think that could be a way for them to start. And also to just start eating fresh food, meaning, you know, like the food that when you go to the supermarket, in the outer areas of the supermarket, that's where they should be shopping rather than the inner aisles, which has all the packaged stuff. So if you fill up your basket with fresh food, that's a great place to start as well. And don't think that you have to cook every single meal, because that's impossible for most people, right, to cook every single meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I always tell people to cook in bulk. So if you're going to make a meal, make a larger portion so that all you have to do is heat up the next meal. You don't have to continue to keep cooking and making new recipes unless you want to. I'm a person who actually likes to create new recipes, you know. So for me, that works. Like my husband is always amazed. Like I'll go to the refrigerator and I'll open it up and I'll see what we have, and then I'll make something, right? So that's what happens when you start to get to know food. You get to know it on a deeper level, and you understand, oh, this goes with this and this goes with that, and I can make this work. You know, for the newbies, it is a little bit of work, but it's not much, and you are worth it. Meaning everything that they do for themselves, they're worth it. They're worth the apple instead of the Snickers bar. They're worth the homemade sandwich instead of the sandwich that they get at, you know, one of these little fast food joints, right? So that's just stuff to consider. You just make baby steps toward a better diet, and they'll start to feel it. And then they'll keep going in that direction. They'll be like, hey, I have a little more energy. I have a little more focus and clarity. My body's coming back online. I'm going to continue doing this.
Okay. So you would suggest giving up the coffee, which I can't do. I can't do. I cannot give up my coffee, but my next big step next year, this year in June 2018 is to try to cut back on, believe it or not, wine, because even though I drink natural wine, it still has sugar in it, and I need to cut back on it.
How much wine are you drinking?
I'm drinking a glass a night, but I believe it, even though I'm drinking natural wine, it still has sugar in it. So I'm going to try and cut back on the wine starting this summer. And although I have gotten into my diet now, water, which is a good thing. Which is a good thing. And so I'm slowly getting on the healthy path at 30 years old. But cutting out refined sugar was the easiest thing ever. But for me, I did it cold turkey. And so, for me, I did it cold turkey, and it was the easiest thing ever.
That's fantastic. Most people find that to be really, really hard. So you're ahead of the game, Wynn. Most people are really hardcore addicted. Yeah.
Well, I'm more addicted to my caffeine than I am sugar. But so that's gonna be my next big thing is too. Now for breakfast today I had a bowl of blackberries and mangoes. So yes, that's natural sugar, and yes, I love my natural sugar because you can't give up sugar completely. It's and Andrea will tell you this, guys, too. You can't give up sugar completely just because natural sugar is all around us.
That's true, and it's what nature provides for us to eat. There's natural sugar in everything, like carbohydrates are in vegetables, that turns to sugar. Carbohydrates are in fruits, that turns to sugar, right? So those are the good sugars. The bad sugars, or the not so good sugars, are like the candy, the sugar that people put into their coffee, the sugars that are like in all the bars that you go into into any health food store, and you see all those little natural foods bars, and a lot of them contain glucose and maltose and everything disguised as sugar. So, I think the sugar industry got hip, and they just started, they would change the name of sugar. So anything that's refined and packaged generally will have some form of sugar in it as a preservative and as a stimulant, and, to keep it addicted, because you get addicted to that flavor. So it can be hard for some folks, but like for you, it was easy. But now you have wine at night, right? And you want to try and give that up because that's also sugar.
Yes.
Yes. So one of the things is, if you're drinking wine at night, it's probably to help you relax, and calm down and get ready for bed. So there are other things that you can do. Have a cup of chamomile tea. That will help to make you calm. Soak your feet in warm, salted water, or have somebody rub your feet with a little bit of essential oil or something like that. All of that is all very relaxing, and it can help you get to that place without the glass of wine.
Yep. Well, that's going to be my next big feat here. And so Andrea, what is your favorite food of all the foods you eat? What would say, oh, this is my favorite, I can eat this all year round or all the time?
Oh, that's funny. My favorite foods actually change all year round. I'm a seasonal eater. So, for example, in the summertime, I love watermelon. I love cucumbers. I love all those cooling fruits and veggies. And in the wintertime, give me a bowl of lamb stew or roasted root vegetables. In the fall, I love all the squashes and the cauliflowers. So, like, there's each season comes with a different type of food. So I rotate my diet all year round. I never eat the same thing all year round. And I think that's one of the keys to keeping the microbiome diverse. That's the gut flora, is to change the food constantly as the seasons change. So I find that really works for me. So I can't say that I have one food that I would eat all year round because it changes. It changes every 4 months. I'm eating something new.
Now, unfortunately, you're making me hungry. So, and I just ate lunch too. I knew talking to a natural food chef would not be good after lunch. Eek, bad me. But Andrea, if you had to be educated by anyone inside or outside your field, who would it be and why?
Oh gosh, there's so many people that have inspired me. Can they be alive or dead? Like, can I pull somebody up from the grave? And
I don't care. I don't care.
Okay,
Just get one.
Okay, so I'll give you one. Louise Hay. I really liked her work in the world. She was a metaphysician, and she wrote the book "You Can Heal Your Life." It's one of my favorite books. And then she went on to create a publishing company called Hay House. And in Hay House we have all of these spiritual educators, and she was just a fantastic human being. I think she really embodied that human experience, like bringing something good to the world, leaving a legacy behind, and inspiring people to be the best that they can be. So I'd like to.
It's so funny you say that, Andrea. It's so funny you say that because I was interviewing someone else this morning, which you guys will probably hear that interview today and this one on Thursday, and she's actually published by Hay House.
Oh, it's great.
So it's so funny you mentioned Hay House and Louisa Hay because so many people know Hay House and Louisa's work.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, her book was the first one that inspired me like 20 years ago or something like that. It was just phenomenal. It really helped me to love myself on a deeper level. And when I got into that space of loving myself, not in a narcissistic way, but in a really healing way, then it was really easy for me to take care of myself. Because I was like, okay, I totally love Andrea. I'm going to take care of her while she's here.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
And so where can people find you? And then I know you have a couple questions to me that you want to ask me. But where can people find you, and how can people get a hold of you if they want to work with you on their eating habits, which I think everyone should, because you hear me often talk about eating healthy and eating right, and I love my kale salad. I also love my broccoli, which is weird. I am a strange child. I eat everything under the sun, including strange veggies, and I was the 6-year-old that ate her broccoli first, believe it or not, before she went for the pasta. So I ate my broccoli before I went for the pasta, and adults would just look at me like, this kid is crazy, and they still look at me crazy for my eating habits.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you eat pretty well. And if people want to connect with me and find out how to eat or what to eat or when to eat it and all that good stuff, they can go to www.andreabeaman.com. And I have online programs. I have 4 books. I have DVDs. I have recipes all over the website. And people can just browse through stuff. And there's lots of great articles. And just help people to understand food and herbs a little bit better. And I do have some questions for you, Wynn. So one of the questions that I have is you had mentioned that you have cerebral palsy, right? So do you consider yourself a disabled person?
Okay. When I got that text message this morning, it took me a long time to come up with an educated answer. Do I consider myself a disabled person? I do in my body, but in my brain, no. No.
Oh, that's great.
I do in my body. Okay. But in my brain, no.
So I have a second question is, when did you realize that you were unique, that there was something different about you? At what age did you realize?
I realized, first of all, I realized when I was sick that something was different. Second of all, I realized again in 7th grade when my mom told me that I had CP, and she told me as she dropped me off at school, which wasn't very smart parenting advice, drops me off, Cole stops at the bottom of a road where I still work up at that school, so I know the bottom of that road quite nicely now. And so she said, she looks me straight in the eye and basically says, when I need to tell you something, you have CP, and then she goes, have a nice day at school. And so that's how I wanted to scream. I wanted to kill her, but, no, we didn't kill my mom. And so, so I wanted to like shake her and say, what? Why are you telling me this now? And then I was fortunate enough to, in my English class, get, being able to do a presentation. Unfortunately, the presentation didn't happen, but through the research for the presentation, I had to type in what is CP, and at the time I only knew it as CP, so I'm like, oh boy, here we go. What is CP? And Google I did, and Google almost made me cry and almost made me shut the laptop, because I'm like, oh boy, now we're dealing with us. I'm one of the 1,000 babies that haven't, and now we're dealing with a green monster that I can't control. And by the way, you guys, March, as of Thursday, is Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month. Thank you very much. And I am bringing someone on very, very, very special, not my family, thank you very much, to interview me. So we're setting that up right now as we speak. And so March, we're going to be talking about a lot more about cerebral palsy, because even though you guys love it, you guys seem to forget about me. Well, I shouldn't say that, but you guys seem to forget that I have cerebral palsy, and you just listen to this podcast like this, tomorrow. So March is Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month. So, in March, we're going to be talking about a lot, and in March, I'm going to be having a lot more people interview me on this podcast, hopefully, And then, as I said, I'll bring the special interviewer on to interview me. And so, March is Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month, so we'll see how that goes. And please, for Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month, look up my books, share them out, and let's do a lot more raising of awareness. There's enough research out there on cerebral palsy, and yes, cerebral palsy can't be cured. And so I live with this disease, live with this disability until the day I die. So basically, basically cerebral palsy, March is Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month. So if you guys want to help me out, go for it. Go for it, because I can't do it all on my own.
Right. All right. Well, thanks for sharing that.
Well, yeah, and a lot of people don't know that March is Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month. And our national color is green, by the way. Green is in broccoli, green is in kale. Yes, I said kale. And so just spread the word around that it's Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month, and then I'll be happy, and then my special interview will be happy too that it's working. And so yeah, but I would love to thank Andrea for her time today and sharing her story and how we can always help there.
All right, great. Well, thanks for having me, Wynn.
Thanks for coming on. And then I will get this episode out when I can to you guys. And then I will see you guys later. And I hope you guys enjoy another fabulous episode. Thanks to you guys.